One of the things I think is important is talk with consumers, not at them. If you want to use this stuff to try and sell things to a customer audience. I chose this because this is a fairly radical thing that I've found a few weeks ago. Skittles, it's like a sweet or something. Well, he thinks it's horrible candy. I've never had one.
It is horrible.
Okay, so Skittles is horrible candy. Well, Skittles is quite grave. And these people are not alone in thinking it's horrible candy, because what Skittles have done, you go to Skittles.com now, the majority of what you find there, they didn't create. They've just done searches and put, this is from last night, people are talking about Skittles. This is actually from Facebook. So they have now they have 910,000 fans. Some people like it. I don't know. So people are saying, I love Skittles, they're the best, Skittles are amazing. But they actually have that on their own website, Skittles.com. I think it's dangerous because you don't control some of this stuff. This one you do control. YouTube, you have, I think, a really lovely level of control about what content you put up there. You can make a video, you can upload it, people can leave comments, you can delete the comments you don't like. You can create your own YouTube channel, youtube.com/yourbusinessname. Just set up a new account using your business name. You get a free channel, there's no cost. You can upload a background image that Skittles has done here with a whole load of Skittles in it. That one, I think, you know, if you were going to do that, that's not a bad option. But the one I thought they weren't that smart, well, Flickr. This one's different. Here what they've done is they've uploaded anyone who searches on Skittles candy. Any pictures that are in there will come up. Now, if someone doesn't like Skittles and made some funny photo that was anti-Skittles, that'll come up as well. I don't know, I'm sure I would do that. Skittles on Twitter. Okay, so this is a difficulty to me. I just ate a Pop-Tart that tasted like Skittles. Straight up. It was terrible. I'm going to brush my teeth for like 20 minutes now. So be aware that you don't always control what people say on some of these things. Wikipedia, which you can't really control, but again, they've used that on their own site. Okay, we're going to look at some case studies of things you could do in your own business. These are client jobs that we've done. We get paid for it because we're very good at it, but you can do a lot of this for yourselves. You've got a camera like this, little digital quality camera. You can create some content, some video. If you get an Apple, you could use iMovie to edit your content. You can add some graphics, you can put some music over it. You can upload it to YouTube. We always want to know what is this year's news. We don't want to do what we did last year. This was last year's campaign, so this year's is looking very different. German National Tourist Office. We know from our research that one of the main reasons that British men of the age group we're targeting for German National Tourist Office and Berlin tourism marketing, they say, oh yes, beautiful architecture, lovely food. Oh, the men are really hot. And I love the composers, and I really like the idea of going to Berlin. Oh, but the German boys. So we need to reflect that. And then the lesbian market has a different set of issues, so we need to capture that in a creative. This one was to invite people to make videos of themselves to go to Germany and Berlin. And here's just a short example. And this person is telling us why he might want to go to Germany. You could do this about your own business.
I have, yeah, lots of times, yeah. With Frankfurt a lot for work, my leisure time Munich, Stuttgart and Hamburg. Stuttgart, we had a Mercedes car back in Australia, so I wanted to see where it was built, but unfortunately the one day we went there, the factory tour was closed. A good reason to go back though. Hamburg's beautiful. I was really impressed with Hamburg, yeah. Very lovely architecture and all that was beautiful. Frankfurt's improved a lot lately too. There's so much more to the city. A lot more sort of outdoor cafes and restaurants and nightlife and that. So it's great, yeah.
Are you actually into architecture as well?
Yeah, I love old, particularly being from Australia, I love all the old buildings and the history of Germany, so which is great for me to see. So Australia's a bit younger, so it's nice to see some old buildings and a real history in that. So
what do you think about German boys then?
Well, particularly being from Australia, I think they're hot. The hottest anywhere in the world, I've got to say. So there you go. It's even more reason to visit.
Thank you.
Particularly being from Australia, I don't know what that means. But you get the point. I mean, that was quite deliberate. We made the film, but we wanted it to be Vox Poppy and zoom in and out. That was the flavour we wanted. We didn't want it to be too hard sell. There's no logo on that. It's a German National Tourist Office client product. That's on their own site, gaygermany.co.uk. Now, here's a different approach for Berlin tourism marketing. Again, talk with the consumer, not at them. This is on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/mygayberlin. This is the deputy editor of GT, Gay Times magazine in the UK. A guy called Joe Heaney. We took Joe over. We filmed him having a great weekend together in Berlin. We made 9 separate videos with different themes. And then we let him loose on YouTube. And this is what Joe has to say about one of the themes.
So that is the famous ball of Berlin. There are lots of balls here. Some of them you can play with and some you can't. You can't play with that one because it's very important. It's a television tower. It's a big sort of communist power thing. It's a big phallic communist power thing. Some people really like it. I'm not so sure.
Okay, this time we do have a logo. The client was happy with that. What I like though is that's one of 9. If you go have a look at the others, we also discovered that he loves Marlene Dietrich. We also learned that Joe had a great night in the German, yeah, I think so too. He had a great night in the Power Station disco over in East Germany one night, and we learned a lot about Joe. But he doesn't like that German ball, and that's all right, because it's about authenticity. You know, if you can make him credible, which he is, he's real, the customer will believe what you're telling them. Now we have one from, this is a campaign that originally was created by, again, Magnus Lindberg, New York manager for Visit Sweden. Yeah, and Magnus is here. Christina Guggenberger from Stockholm Visitors Board couldn't stay, but this is a new campaign just launched in the UK 3 days ago. And there are 4 themes: legends, beauty, water, and design. There were 4 things our research identified were strong in Stockholm and could drive traffic there. So what we did this time was we sent one of our consultants there to film and to ask the locals why the Brits should come and discover Stockholm.
Well, I find it actually quite nice. It's a very gay-friendly city, and most of all, it's a very beautiful city, and it's a nice community.
My boyfriend is Swedish. I'm getting married in August, so that would say enough, I would say. I fell in love with the Swedish culture.
I think the old town is pretty amazing. There is still so much history, and the buildings are very fresh, and we've been taking care of it so good.
Just look around here, you know, beautiful people, fun people, and yeah, nice, relaxed atmosphere. Yeah, basically anywhere in Stockholm, it's beautiful.
So you can see all 4 of them at visitsweden.com/gay. It's also tied in with a promotional campaign. People can win their own trip to Sweden. We ask them to identify which of the 4 themes is most interesting to them, which again is a nice thing to involve them. It only takes 4 or 5 minutes to watch all 4 videos. But we also learn a little more about the customers demographically, who likes which theme, which can help us through that research in our future work. This one is about legends.
The most famous icon probably would be, well, in terms of music, it's definitely ABBA, and I think in terms of sports, it would be Björn Borg or Ingemar Stenmark.
Well, this is the place to be in Sweden.
ABBA is a huge thing, but for me who loves old movies, I would say Greta Garbo is like one of the biggest legends that comes from Sweden. Very stylish, amazing movies, so that would be mine.
From Stockholm. This is my hometown.
To be gay in Stockholm, I think it's a very good place to be gay in, because the people who live here is very open-minded.
Why should they visit? Because I think it's one of the places you really have to see in a lifetime.
Why? Because it's fabulous. Why not?
No, I mean, we've worked on that, but you also, with a camera, with an editing program, with a YouTube account, you can build a video for your own business and story. Okay, pay-per-click, Google AdWords. These things are very controllable. This pay-per-click stuff's great. If you're not already into it, it's worth checking out. You decide which keywords people might search on Google to find you. You come over on that bit on the right-hand side, sponsored search. But it's still important. You can get right onto page 1 if you get the pricing right. Word of advice, start with what Google recommends and work downwards. because they're in the business of maximising revenue. We've discovered the difference between being number 1 for our preferred keywords and being number 2 or 3 is about 10% of the original cost. So you can save a lot of money and still be on page 1. Yahoo search is another option. Facebook has pay-per-click, and YouTube is a similar option where you can spend the money. Here's an example in Facebook of how you could set up a